Welcome back to Raidercast, the Lara Croft podcast that delves into all things Tomb Raider and Miss Croft. For this very special, very exciting sequel episode to the Ports, Remasters and Remakes episode, we have Laurie and we have Steve. Thank you so much for joining me again.
Pleasure.
So glad to be back.
I'm so very, very excited for this.
Yes.
What a time to be back as well.
Yeah,
What a
it's a
time
great
to be
reason
alive.
to be back.
How are you feeling? How is everyone feeling?
I'm just because this is a PG-13 podcast.
Oh, you may swear. It's okay.
That's fine. I'm feeling very happy, shall we say? Very, very happy. I think don't want to speak on everyone else's behalf, but I think we've all been waiting several years for this to happen. We never ever thought that this would actually be a day that would be something we could enjoy, and here we are. It's nuts. I'm so happy.
It does feel very surreal that we are at this point.
Yes.
I think we'd kind of given up hope that it would ever happen.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it is.
The remasters are here at last, and I feel like a kid again. For the last week or so, I've just felt like, I get up early before work, I'm gonna go sit on my sofa and play Tomb Raider, and whoa, it's like I'm a teenager again. It's amazing.
It's
great
made me so
feeling.
happy.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah. What I'm really looking forward to is this how this game basically is taken by the current generation of people, and how already it's starting to introduce like the series or this era of the series to new fans and other members of the family maybe, or even members of the family that have been like, oh, my dad's used to play Tomb Raider, and now I'm showing him these remasters, and he's blown away and can't believe this is happening again.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I'm really keen to see, and I've been really enjoying about this.
I'm loving that as well. I've seen a few very similar posts, and it does tug at my heartstrings whenever I see people talk about how they used to play it with maybe someone in their family who's no longer with them anymore, and it's like they wish they could have seen it. It's like, God, this is why it's important. Yes, game preservation, fantastic. Yes, introducing it to another generation of players, but giving people who had those experiences, those memories again.
Yeah. That's what matters.
Yeah.
That's what definitely matters. And I really love how, not to sort of jump ahead of topics, but I really, really love how they've used the blueprint of the original as the base to build upon to make it better. They didn't just completely flatten it and do like a completely different take on it like Anniversary did. Yeah. And I think that's what's like really amazing about this, among other things, a whole bunch of other things as well. But I really love the fact that it's still blocky. It's so charming and so like cool to see it all kind of like cubic and still blocky like it was back in the PlayStation days, but just looks better. You know,
so nice, isn't it? My goodness.
That's all it needed to be done. And I've been saying for a while, like I don't know, I'm sure other people have as well, but like on streams and stuff. And you've probably said this a load of times as well, Laurie and Chris. But like all we basically wanted for these remasters was for them to basically just upscale the originals or make them play better. Yeah. Without us having to install a whole metric ton of mods to get it to run.
Exactly. Yeah. I think someone actually said it on my Discord the other day or on Twitter or somewhere. I can't remember now, but I remember specifically them saying, and I was just like, yes, that is exactly how I see it in terms of how we see the graphics now is basically how we saw them as a kid when we first played it. It's like our brains, our imaginations just filled in those gaps. And so it's like seeing what we thought it was as a child, like now reimagined and in reality on our screen. And that's why it's just such a good feeling.
Isn't it odd? I do find myself constantly with that feeling of this is exactly how I remember it, to the degree where sometimes I forget I'm playing the remaster until I click back to the old graphics and it's like, whoa.
Wow, my God.
The pervertex lighting that just makes everything just like, my eyes. Or like, I forgot how super dark Tomb Raider 2 could be. Like I'm in Barkhang at the moment, and Tomb Raider 2, I've been switching back and forward between the original and the new graphics, and it's just like, wow, okay. I need to use flares way more in the classic graphics, I feel, than I do in the new ones. But interestingly though, people have been saying the different thing about Tomb Raider 1. Tomb Raider 1 to a lot of people has been a lot darker. I do kind of get that, because that game has a proper lighting system now. Yeah. And it wasn't designed to have a lighting system, really a conventional one. It was like a per vertex system. But it is interesting to see how much the lighting, even the lighting, has changed the look of some areas.
Shall we dive in to what we think some of the best things about this trilogy have been? Laurie, would you like to go first with some of your favourite things about this?
Oh god, I mean, like, to be fair, I'm going to put this out there in terms of I'm only fully played through Tomb Raider 1 because since obviously we had the early access, so I was able to just blitz through it.
Yep.
I've not then had a chance to play it because since then the game has come out and now I'm forced to watch Bubs play it. So I've not actually been able to play it myself.
Oh.
But it's nice because then I get to experience it like what I did. I mean, I was like twice his age when Tomb Raider first came out, but yeah, it's being able to see it now through his eyes is like a whole new experience. So I'm not exactly mad about it, but
That's lovely. That's so nice.
but yeah, it's nice because I'm able to just like see it through his eyes, and like he loves shooting the T-Rex, but it's really funny because he's still like he loves running around and he loves doing the jumps and he loves like shooting the guns and everything. But if it comes to like the really complicated jumps or something jumps out at him, he'll quickly just hand it to me.
Oh,
yeah.
Mum, you're the pro, you can deal with it. So
the closest thing I've had to that is Sarah, my wife, because she's never played any of the classic games. She played like most of Peru, and then that's it of Tomb Raider 1. And we did a stream a couple of days ago where she played through the classic games, but through the remasters, giving the modern controls a try and seeing how she got on with them. And there's a clip you can actually check out where she came across the T-Rex for the first time, and it was absolutely hysterical because she was just kind of like tiptoeing towards it. She knew it was coming, and her reaction to when it was chasing her was just hysterical. And she tried that trick that you used to be able to do where you hide in the beginning of the cave, and it doesn't walk in, but they've obviously fixed that. I didn't tell her that. And then it just started charging in and just trampling all over her, and she was just screaming. But it's been really fascinating to see like all these new people, like 𝐷𝐚𝐿𝐝's son as well.
I was about to mention
playing as well.
Yeah.
That's really cute. Like other people as well enjoying it has just been incredible. The amount of love these remasters are getting, rightly so, has just been incredible.
My goodness. Wow.
But yeah, back to your I was going to say back to your question.
Sorry,
Chris. Though I went off on a tangent. Yeah, I think probably I think it's definitely like just how even though it's so similar, even though it's like you said, it's just built from the original up, it just feels still so different. It's very similar. Like I can go through these levels with my eyes closed pretty much for Tomb Raider 1. But it just still feels so different. Like the environments feel so different, and just the set pieces feel so different and yet so familiar. And I absolutely love that. It's like walking into a new room that I've not seen how they've reimagined it, and it's just like, wow, it just looks absolutely stunning. And that's why I just blitzed through Tomb Raider 1, because I was just so excited to see how they reimagined each piece. Like with Atlantis, just blew my mind. It was just
I was like partially thinking, I wonder if they're going to tone it down a bit.
Did not expect them to tone it up.
It's weird, Atlantis, because the wall textures, if you switch between like the originals and the new ones, they are slightly different, but the way they move and are constructed is different. It is definitely still the same sickening Atlantis that
it's still quite disgusting.
Some of the doors as well, they're sort of like 3D, like it almost looks like there's a creature trapped inside some of the doors, like incredible.
Or the pedestal that the Skiion's on, it's kind of almost got this, I hate to say it, anus look to it now. It's just got this weird bobbly muscular type of like ring piece texture to it. It's horrible.
I
will never look at a pedestal in the same way again.
It's like partially ruined it. Oh my god. There's it occasionally goes viral every few months, the inside of a throat of like a sea turtle or something, and it's got like those sort of spikes, and it kind of looks the same.
It's really gross.
Creepy,
Fits very well.
When I first walked into the cistern as well, I was like, wow. Just the light from the ceiling, but also all of the vines trailing down, the water drips. Oh,
I mean, I know it's not your favourite level, Steve, but
even I appreciated how good the cistern looks. I actually, in the remaster, kind of made me like appreciate it more than I think I ever have.
Yeah.
It's still not my absolute
Consistent.
favorite level, but I just, yeah, it definitely looks nice. Apart from the fact that you still can't see the effing keys.
Oh my,
Like, the
yes.
keys are so tiny, and I missed one, like really important one.
Yeah.
It was one that's on the top left ledge, like the L-shaped
Yeah,
ledge
just
on the
before
top.
you have to shimmy to the rats.
That's it.
That one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Yeah,
I was like, hang
but
on.
That's a shame. It's like, I know there's something
Yeah.
here. There's a point to coming up, and I
I'm
just
so
couldn't see
confused.
anything because it
Yeah.
blends into the floor texture. It's not great.
I'm very hopeful that they will tweak that in an upcoming patch, because it's as nice as it is to be able to switch between graphical styles. You shouldn't have to do that in order to find things.
Yes.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank God for that new icon that appears over your head when you have to pick stuff up, because that saved me on a number of occasions.
Indeed.
That I think is a really cool addition, and what I really liked about that is the fact that it carries over to the old school graphics too. They could have just left it alone and just done an emulated port or something as is, but no, they actually went the extra mile, not only to do that, but also made it widescreen too, which is great. So weird seeing the OG game in widescreen, like the original graphics in widescreen, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
I like how they changed all the fonts as well to be all pixelated, even in photo mode. It's like it makes the photo mode look retro as well. Really nice touch. Gosh.
I kind of wish they made her have more faces in retro mode, because she's just kind of got blank, 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 angry. Blank, blank.
That would have been cool to see. How about you, Steve? What have been some of your absolute favourite things about the remasters?
The remasters for me it's just been a joy to play. Mostly like similar to Laurie, just going through and discovering what all these areas that I grew up playing or have revisited now look like with a fresh coat of paint. But what I've enjoyed the most about it is just how much love and care has been put into this. Apart from the FMVs, it's just incredible how much like the menu screens are completely redone from scratch with the new model, and you can flip between both graphic styles. All three have their same menu screens but redone, but also with the same music. They have each individual craft mana. All of the skips and speed runs and glitches that you can do are still present, and you can still do them. It's incredible. But that's basically what's been really good for me with these remasters, just discovering how faithful it's been and well preserved it's been. It's been incredible.
It definitely feels like it's a project made by fans for the fans. I think
100%.
that's definitely how it's been feeling.
This is the Sonic Mania of Tomb Raider. I will say that on record, because the amount of fans that have been drafted in to work on these games, very similar to what Sega did with Sonic Mania. Very similar. So, and it shows, because you got incredible people like Xprogger and Giovanni Luca and Delca and Jason Chester and a whole bunch more, which
it's the absolute right thing to have done. I think is such a smart move, because these people, they're not just going to come in with their prior knowledge of all of these sort of graphical styles or of making games or of making environments and be like, right, I'm going to do XYZ. I'm gonna fix, air quotes, stuff from the past. They love the stuff from the past. They're bringing it in, they're updating it, but they're being really careful about what they do so that it doesn't change, but it enhances. And that's such a good thing. I've loved that about it. Really love that about it. I think for me, my favorite thing has been reacquainting myself with these levels. So over the last 5 or 6 years, since I started to get more into Tomb Raider again as I used to as a kid, I've been delving into a few different levels, and it's mostly just been like capturing footage or taking nice screenshots from different places. So this is the first time since God knows when I've actually sat down and played the games through start to finish, just to appreciate everything that's in them. And there's been so many times where I've completely bloody forgotten what to do, where to go.
And what a feeling.
What an amazing feeling that is, to have to consult Stella's website.
I love that.
It's good. It's the sense of discovery all over again, really, isn't it?
Totally.
So I've had that on numerous occasions, trying to blitz through all 3 games, or as much as I could before the deadline to get footage. It was just nuts. I think the most I got was through all of 1. I had to stop myself taking photos because I was just using the photo mode so much. And then I got as far as Barkang in 2. And then I was like, I'm running out of time. So I had to use level skip on a few times for 3 just so I could see some of the stuff in 3. But from what I saw, it's just incredible. And like, there were moments where I was just like, oh yeah, I don't remember how to do this, genuinely. So it's cool. It is cool.
Now then, let's move on to some of the things that we're maybe not so keen about. If there are any, maybe they're not. Maybe you love every single thing about it, but you probably don't. So let's be critical, constructively. What is your not so favorite things about these games?
Laurie, you go first.
Steve has his list. I think we've already kind of brought it up in terms of with the items. Some of the items can just be so difficult to see. Like I've been trying to get through. I'm like, now I've noticed, I don't know if you guys realize, like Tomb Raider 1 in terms of where it actually has the amount of pickups now. So you can actually see how many pickups there are.
Yes.
Yes.
So I never realized, because obviously I've been doing no lows, no meds for ages. So I didn't realize obviously how many pickups I was actually missing. So I was going through and I was like, I think I was on Lost Valley and I realized I'd missed 2 items. I was like, I've got all secrets, but I've missed 2 items. I don't understand. And what I'd done, I'd missed 2 of the items for the secret on the top of the roof with the temple. Because they were just so difficult to me to see. I had to switch back to OG graphics.
I know exactly the ones. The ones. There was one for 𝐡𝐞𝐫𝐜𝐚𝐬𝐿. There's a med kit. You have to physically go like you're going back to Lost Valley to find this med kit past the Larson fight in order to get all the pickups.
I missed
it's really
one.
Weird.
Yeah, I missed one on 𝐡𝐞𝐫𝐜𝐚, and it probably was that one. So yeah, it's just really tough to try and see items. And like I said, with the key in System, I think quite a few people have missed that one.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that would be quite frustrating. So hopefully they sort that out. I think the other thing for me, I think, was what Steve brought up. I think what such a good job that they've done with in-game. It's just a shame that the FMVs don't really match up to what they've done. But I understand it to a certain extent, because obviously I don't think they have the source code. So it's really difficult to be able to do anything with it. But yeah, I think they could have done a bit better.
I mean, I don't want to kind of like label them as lazy because they're definitely not. But I took a look at them and I've got like a little bit of AI that I've used to try and upscale them myself, like just for funsies, just to learn how it worked. And I ran the original PlayStation version of those FMVs through that kit, trying to sort of replicate what they did. I found the thing that they did. It was like a set it and forget it type upscaling. There's no like fine tuning in there. It just basically carpet bombs over it and tries to make it look as sharp and as clean as possible. But the problem I found with that is it kind of erases over some of the details in some of them. It kind of makes it look a bit smudgy. And like in Tomb Raider 1, the first thing you see is the font. And they didn't even go, it wouldn't be so bad if they just dropped it into Adobe Premiere, put the font that they used over the top and just made it look better through editing, and then made a copy to go into the games, because even that would have been serviceable. But as it stands at the moment, it is unfortunately the lowest point, just because it just looks so bad. And I know that some of it's out of its control, but I managed to get it, at least for me personally, I've been playing around with it recently, and I've managed to get some progress to making it look, in my opinion, better. And I've shared some stuff on my social medias just to kind of gauge opinion. Yet to work out how to actually edit them so I can mod the FMVs, because they're in a weird format, but I'll let everyone know when I make any progress.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Wow, good luck.
It is, unfortunately, just is what it is. The only chink in the armor, so to speak, majorly, with the remasters, I think. And a few of the bugs that people have been reporting to. Like turning around and seeing a water texture replaced with a famous painting that's in Croft Manor. That's a bit strange.
Yeah, I found 2 of those.
Did you?
So it's in the same place. It's like as you come up to go into where that secret is in St. Francis Folly, there's one painting, and then as you climb out the water, it's another painting.
Yeah,
I had that really place random. Where the water was already pre-drained. I mentioned it in my video.
That's
basically down the slope, and the water was just gone. But you switch to classic graphics, and the water texture, the surface texture, is still there. So it thinks it's there, but it's not.
Yeah.
But I've managed to, I kind of managed to fix it by loading 𝐷𝐿𝐴𝐵, doing that again. Then going back, and it seems to be okay. So I'm hoping it's a one-off, but it's just weird.
I think in terms of least favorite things, aside from the things that you've mentioned, which hopefully will either be fixed in patches or by Steve, apparently, is I think the water visuals. I think they just look a little bit too static
and a bit too flat.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I know that 𝐼𝐸𝐿 because he's like mentioned a couple of times that he can't use open Lara stuff. He's not allowed to. But he's expressed the want to add more to that and to enhance it. So hopefully in the next couple of patches or something, that might be a thing.
Yeah, I think as well, a lot of people pointed out that the water above the waterfall in Lost Valley didn't look like it was rapids, even though when you jump in you get dragged through, it still just looked like normal water. I think a lot of people reported that, and I think they're going to do something about it. What I would love them to do, I don't know if either of you have seen, or you maybe have seen from the trailers, the rushing water effect that they added to Madubu Gorge from Tomb Raider 3.
That would look insane. That would just look
that
so
does look
cool.
Good.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a horizontal waterfall anymore. A floor of water.
But that has been one of the things as well. Sorry, just to briefly jump back into the cool things, is this game has possibly slightly rejigged some of my favorite levels, because even the dreaded Madubu Gorge with its just horrible kayak, my god, still just no. But the water and the visuals and the lighting and the atmosphere of that level, I was like, how did I not realize how awesome this place looks and feels before now? Wow.
Yeah. It's interesting seeing people's reaction to people having skyboxes in Tomb Raider 1 levels. Like Colosseum just changes so much.
It changes the level, doesn't it, so much, that one?
I think everyone's assumption back on the PlayStation was that it was all underground because it was just all darkness and black. But it's just like, it opens it up so much. And I can get people not liking that, actually, to a degree, because it's all personal preference and what you grew up with. But it is just incredible how much it just changes the mood of it and how it looks. It just looks really good. The skyboxes out of like a lot of things have been really, really well handled. Here's hoping for Chronicles. So I don't feel like I'm playing on a stage on a panto like in the Mayflower at Southampton or something, you know.
Oh dear me.
I think the only other thing in terms of things I wasn't so keen on is the camera in the modern controls, especially in very tight areas. It's quite erratic, I think, to say the least. Again, hopeful it'll be fixed in an upcoming patch. That will be lovely, just like to make it so much easier for people who play with them. But it is a bit much at the moment. Saying that, just this afternoon, I got near to the end of Tomb Raider 3 for the first time with the remasters, and I set myself the challenge of using the modern controls only for the Lost City of Tinos. And I did it. I managed to do it.
Oh, well done.
So I'm thinking, for people who are like, God, this game is so unplayable, the controls suck, you can't do anything. You can.
You can.
It takes a bit of work.
But there's a caveat to that.
It's possible, difficult, but possible.
You still have to keep on to that old school mindset, that tank control mindset with this. It's weird because Sarah's had problems with the camera. She tried firstly with modern controls and she was chopping and changing between tank and modern controls, eventually settled on tank. And the problem, like you said, with the camera in tight areas is a problem. But she said that a hybrid between the two could work really well. I'm thinking how that would work, but I would be inclined to sort of say that, yeah, I think some kind of like compromise between the two styles could be the best sort of like way to maybe remedy the situation. It is weird how you can only backflip, side flip and whatnot when you've got your guns out in modern controls.
That is so weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, because it's funny because obviously I've got Bubs and Rosie playing it and both of them are used to modern controls, but both of them switch back to tank controls. They try modern controls and they're like, no, just can't do it. So they'll both be on joystick still and like to be able to move the camera, so they don't use the D-pad. But that's it. They just can't get used to the modern controls. They prefer the old ones.
My goodness. There was one thing that I was expecting that they might have done in terms of the modern controls and making them more Legend Anniversary Underworld would have been forcing modern control players to use the analog sticks, but then using the D-pad as the menu and having like a pop-up thing where you can go up, down, left, right, select between. But then the other day, someone discovered, well, no, you don't need it, because you know the quick shortcut to get a flare out, inventory and R1. If you do inventory and X or circle or inventory and square thingy, she just brings out the other weapons.
No way.
Yeah. It is.
What?
And I just find myself now just running around like, okay, I can just sort of just about remember which is which. So it's sort of, it stops the gameplay being broken up quite as much because all of the weapons just there.
How does that work when you've got like a bajillion weapons like in 2 and 3?
You
you just press X a couple times and you get the rocket launcher out or something, and you press the grenade launcher or something. You know, it's.
Maybe if you like tap the same button twice, that would make sense. It's a good suggestion.
I wonder how many times you're going to try this now, Chris, and then you're going to just keep making Lara explode or something. God damn it! I want the rocket launcher. I want them to explode, not me.
We accidentally come across the fabled nude Lara or something.
Have you seen? There's already someone that's modded that. Have you seen this
Seriously?
on Nexus Mods? Yeah, seriously.
Oh,
There's already a page on Nexus Mods for it. I'm just like, oh, for God's sake. He knew it was going to happen.
It was inevitable.
This quickly? Touch some grass.
God.
I mean, it is like 90s nostalgia, isn't it? You
okay, to my wife every anniversary. Oh, it's nostalgic. Yeah, it's fine.
Such a throwback.
Yeah.
The good old days, isn't it?
Moving on to the final category of what would we hope to see in future, whether it be fixes or improvements to this game or future games. What would you like? Laurie, go again.
I think collectively we'll all agree that we want the next 3 games
Yes, please.
done. Yes.
Yes, please. Yes, please. I don't
Without
envy
doubt.
the devs. I don't envy the devs who have the task of remastering Angel of Darkness if that becomes a thing.
No.
No pressure. Get it right.
Yeah, no
Otherwise the fan
pressure
will
at
kill
all on
you.
that one. But yeah, I'm at least like praying, begging and praying for Last Revelation
Oh God,
to
at
be
least.
remastered, because that is a close second to me in terms of favourite
Same.
Yeah.
after Tomb Raider 1. So just think how all I keep thinking is just how stunning that would be in like remastered graphics.
Yeah,
just
they deserve them too, especially and Chronicles as well.
yeah, Chronicles
could
does,
be
yeah, but not as much.
not as much. Could just get buried in the corner. It's
Yeah,
just like, what
it's
about
like-
me? No, get in
It's
the
the middle
corner.
child. It's the middle child. It doesn't really
Yeah.
matter as much, does it?
No, but I'm apart from like the obvious like remaster these games, please. What I'd like to see, I think, would just be some improvements to maybe like the photo mode. I think if,
yeah.
for one thing, when you try to capture muzzle flash, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Yes,
weird.
yeah.
Certain visual effects don't stay. I think adjusting stuff like exposure, like a little bit more camera control, could be quite useful for some VPs,
Bit of depth
virtual
of field
photographers.
would be lovely.
Yeah, DOF, yeah, that'd be
Mm.
amazing. Just bug fixes, just
Mm.
make it just more robust, and maybe the ability for us to select whatever costume we want, or just more costumes.
That seems
on
to be
any
a big
level.
one. A lot
Yeah.
of people saying, "How do I change clothes?" It's like, well,
I'm kind of surprised they didn't add unlockables.
yeah,
I'm kind of surprised, but it is what it is. But I'd like to see that. Like an Angel of Darkness costume would be grand for a lot of people, you know, at minimum.
Yeah.
And just the ability to swap costumes outside of photo mode.
I think there's already a mod for the Angel of Darkness costume, yeah.
There is, yeah.
It's like people work so fast. They work so fast. But yeah, it would be really cool to see future remasters from them as well, because a lot of people have said, 4, 5, and 6 next, please. Yeah, fully on board with that. Absolutely. I would like a sequel trilogy to complete the core design set of remasters. That would be wonderful. Because I think if they were just to do what some people have said, I'd love a remaster of 4 and 5. If you do just those two, we're never going to see Angel of Darkness. They will never do that by itself. It has to be included.
Yes.
Just because of the prejudice people and gaming companies have against that in the past.
Yeah.
It has to be included, otherwise we'll never see it again. But even people would love to see as well ports of Legend Anniversary Underworld.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
over
I
onto
would.
the
Why
consoles.
not? Those games deserve to be preserved too. It's not
Yeah,
just the core
exactly.
design error.
Exactly. It would be great to see. I really hope they do.
Yeah,
seen
hopefully
some
these
people-
three have like opened the floodgates now, hopefully to the prospect and the possibility that it can be done.
Do you know what else I'd like to see? Physical release.
Yeah.
Look how shiny.
I
Look
like
how
them
lovely.
to see something
It's so
like this,
pretty.
like a physical release of this, even if it's like a official like PS5 case or PS4 or whatever, just something, you know, something we can put on a shelf that's not limited to the digital store. I think a lot of people would love that. Maybe limited run games, because that's an Embracer company as well, isn't it? Just do a limited runs collection where you could get like a backpack with a ski on it and a copy of the game and a statue, or just, you know, collectible stuff. That would be nice.
Great to see.
That would be amazing.
It's like when Rise came out. I think it was they did like a certain amount of, because it was the 25th anniversary of the franchise, and they actually did Rise in the original PlayStation casing.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Because we've got one downstairs, so it's
nice.
So and it didn't have a disc in it. It was literally just the case. So even that would just be like a nice little collectible for everyone to have, I think.
I love that. I really hope we see that in future. It's not off the cards. I think limited run, as Steve said, is probably our best hope of that happening, I think.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to both of you for joining me for this Remasters Revisited episode sequel special thing.
Been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's been
thank you
wonderful,
for the invite.
wonderful to hear that you're both enjoying the games, and
may we continue to do so for a very, very long time, and hopefully with future ones as well.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much, Steve, and thank you so much, Laurie, and I will see you around social media.
Bye.
Bye.